When it comes to ASMR, it's rather a popular topic on YouTube in which a lot of people engage with within the community, and creators that make visually pleasing videos and more so audio-based relaxing sounds. That's what ASMR is mainly about: relaxing sounds, triggering, satisfying feelings, sensory style stuff, mostly with the ears. It can be like touched bass, it could be vocal, it could be whispering quite often. It could be like recreate sound effects with your mouth, or so using additional items, role play to set a scene, to tell a story, and it can get very creative. Some do it in a natural, neutral way. Others may try and push the boundaries, and at times those that may push the boundaries, it can have a negative knock-on effect or an overview perspective in a negative way towards the rest that do ASMR in more innocent ways, let's put it like that. And when it comes to YouTube and how they can act and respond at times, it doesn't always work out for the creator, especially when you've done nothing wrong, and yet YouTube will take the word of a complete stranger with no experience who may have falsely reported a creator's video. And that appears to be the case for one individual known as Gnarly ASMR. I've only come across them in recent time, but after them sharing their experience as to what's gone on recently and the impact it can have in the future is quite problematic. Now, whilst I don't do ASMR exclusively, I have made some videos on my channel. And whilst yes, some of the videos that I have done have been limited, I could kind of understand as to why, so I didn't try countering or appealing. But when it comes to Gnarly ASMR and having, a brief look at their channel and the content, it appears that they have done nothing wrong. Yet YouTube believe that she has. And it's a bit of a problem, that, because what else are you supposed to do next? So in terms of understanding the steps, this video is kind of like spreading awareness just in general for anyone out there. And maybe this can apply to other ASMR channels. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if this video will get the reach because YouTube themselves may restrict this video, or regular viewers on my channel may not find this interesting, so they might avoid it. So then YouTube will think, well, it's not worth pushing it into the algorithm, so it just dies out. But I will at least tag the key person of today, Gnarly ASMR, so I can share my thoughts and feedback on the matter, as well as just generally spreading awareness of the issue going about. To put things into perspective, it's about understanding what's happened first of all, the details, and Gnarly explains that. I'll share that with you in a second. Second, taking a look at the channel, just to get a good idea. So anyone else interested, you can see it for yourself, because there might be people on this channel, there might be people further afar that may have never heard of this particular channel, but if you come across it, you see the name, you might be interested, and then you can check it out for yourself. The other factors are trying to understand why would someone report you, or why people would on a particular video. Is there a pattern? Is there a trend? We can get to that. And then what can be done after that? Is there a fix? Is there a true solution? What are the tools available, especially when you are a creator? So with that all in mind, to highlight once again that I do ASMR videos myself in the background, but my channel isn't built off of that directly, nor did my growth come directly from it. So I'm not dependent and I'm not reliant on that topic and theme on my channel, meaning there won't be as many consequences for me. But in fairness, with my own topics, my own videos and my own stuff, what I do, true crime and mysteries, that can have its own issues in which people can make false reports to me, my channel, my videos. I get emails from YouTube, but what actually happens at the end of the day? Not much. But equally, when other people have done bad things to me and I've reached out to YouTube, YouTube did nothing. So it can be pretty hopeless at times. Maybe the exception is if you're a massive channel with 2-3 million subscribers and a massive audience and following, you might have the leverage over YouTube. If you're the face that runs the place on YouTube and you make YouTube most of the money, maybe there's a bit of favoritism, leverage where YouTube will listen. It's unfortunate, but sometimes it is a popularity contest. So when it comes to smaller channels, even smaller established ones, it can be a bit harder, even if you've got like a certain audience, but sometimes it can work, other times it can't. It's a bit hit and miss. So when I've been on the receiving end and there's been false reports and claims made, YouTube did nothing, my videos remained up, it was all okay. But separately, there's been copyright issues in which third-party groups, third-party people have falsely, reported my stuff for copyright, and it wasn't true. So I appealed it and it was successful, but not every appeal is successful. Not every human review will be in your favor, because the human reviewer could be biased, right? They might be drunk. I don't know, they might not be quite there with it on the day. They might be in a bad mood, and then they decide to say, you know what, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm just going to listen to the original false report and claim that, you've done bad, even though you haven't. So it can come down to luck and chance and who you're on the receiving end of. I mean, not quite the best example, but you could do an exam in high school or like a test on a smaller scale. A teacher could be marking it. And it was actually made like as a reference in real life for me in school, that you got to make sure you make it clear, your answers are good, everything's almost perfect, because if the marker is having a bad day or they've got a glass of wine in their hand, they might be awkward and they might mark you down because they're not in the best of moods. That's what was said by professional teachers towards me, us in school at times. How pathetic is that? If something like that can happen there in that setting, it could well apply on YouTube as well. It's not exactly professional, is it? And you get these so-called professionals in these roles and jobs and they can't even do it properly. It's incompetent and it's pathetic. But with that aside, my introduction out of the way, in which I can understand the current situation, let's take a look at Gnarly herself and what's going on. Gnarly said, yeah, so I got videos removed for nudity when I was covered up to my chin. And as you know, they're particularly vague about what was specifically against the terms of service. I'm actually afraid to upload again, and I'm not sure what type of video I can make that will not get flagged. I think I've been getting reported by a troll or more than one, and it seems you get your stuff removed easier once it's reported. If you have any insight or advice on this, I'd appreciate it. And in addition, they said, I stupidly deleted the 2 videos from my studio after both of my appeals were rejected within hours. Just realised after the fact it would be impossible to contact their support without the actual URL to the original video that says removed in the audio in a black box. Ugh. So obviously it's unfortunate what's happened to Gnarly here in this situation as well. I've been in a kind of similar spot in the past when I wasn't as experienced with YouTube and I wasn't as confident or didn't know exactly what was going on. I received a false copyright claim. All I had to do was appeal it and it would have been successful. But early on, I just didn't want to risk anything. So I ended up cutting out a portion of my video and it ruined it. It's still on my channel now, but it's just ruined and I can't get it back. I can't fix it. So it's annoying, but I didn't know at the time. But with what I know now, I make the appeal and it will work out. However, it's all good me saying that. As for Gnarly, she has made appeals. For them to be rejected so quick, that is questionable. Whether it be the same person that reviewed each video. So in terms of maybe the odd video that had been reported, I'll show a screenshot of that later. So you get an idea of like the thumbnail and what you'd expect from the clip itself to try and understand why would anyone report it and get to the bottom of it. But yeah, in terms of it seems you get your stuff removed easier once it's reported. That's an unusual one, to be honest, because normally it takes a hell of a lot of effort and many reports just to get a video taken down. So it's kind of weird this, because I've seen it in the past with other YouTube channels that have done wrong, and then countless people have reported the video and it's not gone down, it's not gone anywhere. And it seems like it needs to take thousands upon thousands of people to report it for YouTube to actually take action. As a heads up, Gnarly, YouTube are more likely to take direct action quicker if you was to report a video for copyright infringement or privacy violations, you know, the legal side. But if it's just straight down to cyberbullying or animal abuse or sexual related stuff, YouTube acts slower on it. But in your experience, they've acted quicker. And that's what doesn't seem to make sense. And as well, acting quick in rejecting the appeals. It's like all the times you want YouTube to help you and be quick, they're not. But when it feels like the world or YouTube is against you, they'll react fast, they'll get it done quick and report back to you with bad news. Shouldn't be that way then. Anyway, let's just take a closer look at Gnarly's channel. This is what it looks like. They have close to 14,000 subscribers and 440 videos uploaded, which is obviously pretty good, actually really good. Although it could be considered a small channel, as they've said, they are basically an established channel. To have near to 14,000 people in this world that are subscribed, that's obviously very good. And the amount of videos that you've uploaded too. I mean, as for me, I've got about 15,400 subscribers, but I've uploaded nearly 3,000 videos. So it just goes to show from different niche to niche, different communities, you get handfuls, selections of people. Some of it may stick around and others may not. As for the homepage, just as an example, you got some short clips here, a variation of, I guess, ASMR, music-related stuff, fashion, clothing, trends, a bit kind of like outside of the box in a unique style. I've not been around long to absorb all this, that's why it might sound a bit vague. But if there's anyone watching right now or people on catch-up who aren't familiar with this channel, but if any of you are interested in ASMR, fashion, clothing, or anything like that, feel free to check this person's channel out. That is the username at the top, Gnarly ASMR, and the tag handle as well. And in terms of going to the video section, you've also got the usage of musical instruments. I believe that's a violin. I guess with a bit of a crossover with an aesthetic theme too. So, and in terms of the thumbnails as well, because whilst it's worth spreading awareness of this person's channel, you look at the titles, they're pretty formal and clear. You look at the thumbnails, simplistic, but somewhat effective. In terms of everything, what you see on screen, there's nothing that stands out and screams terms of service broken. There's no gore, there's nothing inappropriate, there's no swear words, nothing like that. So why should a person like this experience so many issues when someone like me that has done ASMR hasn't been punished as much? I think it comes down to the reach and how many people watch your videos. More people watch Gnarly's ASMR videos than people on my channel and people afar that watch my ASMR videos, because my channel isn't about ASMR. It's more about true crime and mysteries. So people aren't gonna watch. If there's less people watching, there's going to be less drama, conflict and issues. If there's more people watching and there's more eyes on a particular theme or subject, bad things can come with it, as with good stuff too. Now, to take in mind, even though Gnarly says she does her own thing and does a variety of stuff, which is obviously good and creative, and it can cross over, even like when you go to the short section, as example, you got these vinyl records, whatnot, and some more bits and bobs there, is that when you look at the views, because that's important too, nearly 14,000 subscribers. And when it comes to her ASMR videos, 7,700 views, which is a very good ratio. And you got 8,800. You got 6,000, 7,000, 3,000. And if we just like fast track ahead, 101,000 views on a video. 94,000, 36,000, 33,000. These are very high-end video statistics for a channel with 13,900 subscribers and only 440 videos. In terms of the success ratio, a lot more successful in a positive way in comparison to someone like me. Because someone like me, I've done a lot more videos. Does it equate to a lot more videos equals a lot more problems? Maybe. But in terms of what Gnarly has experienced, it's something that I have never experienced myself. And that's what's weird. That's what the trying to understand at the end of the day. But you can see the rest of the stats there, all looking fine. The thumbnails appropriate. Because you got to take in mind, there'll be a lot more people out there, whether it be ASMR, whether it be completely different things, fashion related. It could be trying on clothes, what style of clothing or what type of clothing. Obviously, I'm not an expert with this because I don't do it myself, obviously. But there might even be people that may do like fashion hauls. They go to the mall, they might try clothing. Summertime, it could be like beach wear. And obviously, that could be considered to some as more revealing, but still appropriate. But to put in perspective, people like that do those videos, and it might be a bit more revealing, they don't seem to get silenced, but this individual has. And all they're doing is doing what they enjoy doing and making creative videos, and no terms of service broken, yet that's what they've experienced. It's just a bit unusual. So if you go to the playlist section, it kind of like puts into perspective the types of videos. Shopping online, so it's like a personal type of themed video, opening up to others as for interest and style, and an indirect way of hanging out with other people too who may have the same fashion sense. Then you got ASMR, a certain type of ASMR to do with clothing, tailoring. Then you've got Mario Kart, role play, which tends to be popular on YouTube. And that's the thing. Once again, you'll get other ASMR channels out there, whether they get punished or not, who may do role play, and some may do it in a rather dodgy way, or they might push the boundaries, or it could get a little bit risky at times, and they're okay. Not much bad seems to happen to them, at least to my knowledge. Maybe it has catched up on some people, but you get what I'm saying. You got the makeup ASMR, which is actually probably a unique crossover blend. See, this is the thing. And obviously, whilst a negative event has gone on, you should be able to highlight some positives too. Obviously, when it comes to makeup, it'll be popular on YouTube and it'll attract a wide audience of people that come in, and it can be mostly positive. To mix it, combine it with ASMR, that is a hybrid. So Gnarly is a hybrid channel with a crossover of themed videos which connect with one another and gel well. So if Gnarly was to do a makeup ASMR short preview clip of what was going to happen next in a longer format video with the hashtag shorts, it could bring in a lot of interest. It could generate a lot of interest. And you got the perfume ASMR, unboxing ASMR, that can be quite popular as well. So obviously Gnarly has got the foundations of her channel, for most part of it, has it under control. And with that and the consistency has grown naturally with time and has built an audience. But along the way, with building an audience and building eyes upon yourself, has it at some point attracted like some kind of negative resistance, a negative dark force out there of someone or some people that have a personal issue with Gnarly, or it's just a complete stranger online that wants to cause disruption? And as for the post, as an example, as you see here, I don't know if it goes into more depth. Is that all of it? I think. One day ago, she says, "Good evening, everyone. If you are wondering why my recent video suddenly disappeared on YouTube, it's because someone reported it as inappropriate content. It's mind-boggling that internet trolls will go out of their way to ruin others. As of now, I have it in process to be revised by YouTube, and I'm guessing it was rejected as part of her comment earlier. It's unfortunate that the video was inappropriately removed. Hopefully it will be reinstated within 72 hours. I thought I'd share what had transpired if you were watching and suddenly the video is gone. Primitive ASMR 2 flashlight tape measure. Now, nothing seems to be wrong with that. It's about, 15 minutes long. And whatever reported it, they reported this particular video under the section of nudity, sexual content. If a video contains nudity, that or other provocative content, it's less likely to be allowed on YouTube. And I think what people need to realize is when it comes to YouTube, there are some very, very, very questionable videos out there that seem to sink under the radar. And we'll get to that in just a second. Do we have any additional updates? So the super relaxing stuff video was just taken down for the same reason. Oh, another one. Not sure what's going on with YouTube at the moment since I was fully covered to my chin and doing common ASMR. When she says fully covered to my chin, it basically means like fully clothed, not much on show. I mean, even if like your neck was on show, it shouldn't be that much of a problem. I mean, we'll get into it later, it'll make more sense. I currently have a strike and will not be able to make community post or upload videos. To receive a strike, at least to my knowledge, normally you would get a strike if there's like some copyright infringement. Let's just see what else was said. The second one was removed as well, so I won't be able to get it back on YouTube. I do have backups of all my videos, so I'll let you know when I get them on another platform. So it's good that this person's got backups, but to be forced to have to upload elsewhere, especially if this was like your main place, is unfortunate. Now, to be honest, you've got TikTok, but I think that's actually more toxic as a community. I've had my issues on there. So obviously, there'll be a lot of people here who won't be familiar with because it's strangers, but you know, there'll be a level of support as well. So, anyone watching right now, and you saw that this was reported for sexual content, does it look sexual to you? Not from the looks of it. A person dressed and, you know, just using items and props. Why should it be reported? After looking at this situation, it's rather a perplexing but also frustrating situation. Because just to bring back into play and put it into perspective, there are other people out there doing the same thing who aren't being punished. And then there's another set of people that are really, 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 really pushing it, maybe by how they act, how they appear. And I'm talking about really pushing it. Another way of using examples would be where someone could do something inappropriate on YouTube, but they title it or they use the caption or description or a tag as educational purposes only. Is it really? Exactly. Or like when you get it on Twitch, there's been news articles and reposts on Twitter where you had a certain gender in that situation on camera with some like digital black bar that wide going across the screen. Are they wearing anything? No. Is it obvious? Yes. Is anything exactly on show? No. But that's not the point. But people exploiting it because they know it will work, and then there'll be desperate males over and over that will gather and watch and then give lots of money, just like the OnlyFans cancer and how that's plastered on TikTok, plastered on Twitter, even on like family-friendly post, sports, football, people just blasting themselves out there, advertising themselves, or it's like a bot account, or it could be someone acting on behalf of them. It's just all over the place. It's full on, you can't escape it. But do any of those people that push the boundaries get punished in them situations? No. And yet this particular individual, Gnarly ASMR, doing their own thing, keeping to themselves, being creative, not doing anything bad, not breaking any terms of service, is getting punished. Is it all down to YouTube to blame? Partially. But there's got to be an element of, as they say, trolls. And furthermore, like how I said, I've done ASMR. I've done proper ASMR, and then I've done kind of out of context ASMR. You see this? Now, Gnarly could think, okay, what's going to happen here? Advertise some fashion, stylize it, wear it. No. To spare the details, something like this. Pretty much that. But it's done in a light-hearted way. And in terms of the wording, it's not that obvious. It's kind of like abstract art. But you could argue and say abstract art, what a load of BS. But it's just done to tone it down. And like these as well. Really? Yeah. But basing it off that and videos like that, what I've done, if Gnarly ASMR is going to be reported in some way for her videos, and yet nothing happens to me, I'd say that's unfair. You could, I said, not to dig myself into a hole and not to punish myself, but I'm probably more deserving of a report like that on my videos than she is. Now, hopefully it doesn't lead to people then coming after me, but no, just being honest. If we talk about like dodgy behavior, some of my videos are more dodgy. This person's videos are purely innocent and genuine. So, with that in mind, it would have to be a viewer, an audience member, long time or a recent new viewer that has some kind of negative outlook towards Gnarly and wants to silence her, to stop her doing what she likes doing, along the lines of that. Kind of like when people along the way have tried silencing me when I've been covering cases. That level of resistance is because they are either just messing about like a troll or because they're involved in the case and they don't want the truth coming out. If you're doing ASMR though, it's like a form of entertainment. It might be informative in some ways and more creative. But for people to be stopping you or silencing you, it would have to be more so because they don't want you to progress. Maybe, who knows, could it be some kind of deep-rooted jealousy? If Gnarly has like closing in on 14,000 subscribers or something and has a very good view count on the ASMR videos, ratio to the subscriber count, there might be someone out there who may know her or a stranger, depending, long-term, short-term, that has a grudge, has an obsession, a form of resistance, and wants to stop you in your tracks. And they're doing it. I guess you got to measure. And whilst I'm talking in general, but I'm also referring to Gnarly, when I say you, I mean to Gnarly herself. What you need to do is first question, when did all these problems come about? Is it at the same time as when other creators out there were experiencing issues? Is it truly a knock-on effect and now it's coming to you? Or has it happened in the past this? Have any of your videos ever been reported in the past for similar reasons, for similar themes? Because if there is a similar theme, there could be a pattern to the person behind it that has a certain outlook towards you in a negative way. And they think, oh, I'm going to report this person because I don't like them, or I'm going to report this person because I'm jealous of them. But how do I report them? Under what category? Oh, we'll choose that one. Classify it as inappropriate content. Even though the content isn't inappropriate, maybe they feel that's the closest they can come to trying to make some kind of genuine report, even though it isn't. The only other thing I could possibly think of, and it doesn't quite apply as a good example because like she said, she was covered up to her neck. Like in a couple of the thumbnails, based off the clothing and how it is, obviously it shouldn't be the case, but if people are being petty with their reports, and if YouTube are being petty with listening to the false reports, if something was considered sexual, what would that be? Revealing your wrist, revealing your forearm. Naughty, shouldn't be doing that, you have to cover up. Obviously that's very extreme and not natural and too far. What about the neck area? There's nothing wrong with this. I know, forget about the redness, the fucking radiator is on and it's in front of me, so it's very hot, okay, the warmth. So in case anyone was wondering why. But the way I'm dressed right now, there's no issues. But to put it in perspective once again, if people wanted to be like really strict, and hopefully this isn't awkward, not the case here, normal top, There's nothing wrong going on. But obviously there's been times in the past where some t-shirts that I do wear, it can be revealing, as in the, the nipple area, and that could be because it's cold, or it's just because of muscle, or it could be because of the fitting of the shirt. But you can clearly see them and they're pointing out, and there's nothing I can really do about it. If anyone does make a reference or a joke or say so, it doesn't bother me, because if I didn't want it I'll just wear a looser top, or I'll just wear a coat. But to put it in perspective once again, I've not been reported, nothing bad there towards me personally, but someone could have reported it for being sexual or revealing or suggestive. What are you doing pointing that through your shirt? That's really inappropriate. Once again, it's nothing, I can't really do much about it. Sometimes it might come to double standards depending on the gender and the treatment. In this case, it is unusual. I mean, when you compare it to other places and platforms such as Twitch, you get Twitch streamers, females that may underdress completely and body painting. Is it really body painting in a creative way, or is it done under that but exploiting it for other means, right? You can see when it's genuine, and then other times when it's clearly forced and manipulative. But if it's under a category, educational or creative, or just chatting on Twitch, you get away with it. But if it just so happens that the owners of Twitch are very submissive, or they're very lenient towards a certain type or a certain gender over others, because there's been times on Twitch where a male streamer was kicked, banned forever just for saying one bad word. And yes, some words could be considered very bad, but really, one bad word, a person gets silenced forever, and then another set of people are exposing themselves, but that's okay because they're a female. Seems like double standards there. But in terms of the YouTube situation here, I don't seem to be the case that way around, because it's like the opposite. As I said, this is kind of like a case study. It's probably not like a full or fair example, but like if you've got Gnarly ASMR, a female that does ASMR videos, all appropriate, all above board and somewhat professional, right? Nothing wrong going on, gets reported for sexual content. And then you've got me, who's got an item like this, items like this. It's done in a light-hearted way, but still, you could say it suggests something, right? And then if I'm wearing the shirt and something is showing, shouldn't I be the one being reported? Not that I'm saying I want to be, I don't want to be reported, but it would make more sense for it to be on me rather than on her. So that's where it comes down to, it must be more so like a personal issue that someone or some people have with you. Because when I've done my videos, people don't have an issue with it most of the time. People will find it funny, people may find it a little bit exciting, and then the rest may just not be interested nor click on it in the first place. It does all come down to the amount of views. The more views you have on a video, the more chances that things can come out of it for the right or wrong reasons. I've done negative videos in the past, and when I say negative, I mean being realistic and sharing my thoughts and predictions just in general with me and beyond. And in the past, no one watched because I had 100 subscribers or less. No one watched, no one cared, there was no consequences. If I did it now, there could be consequences, or there could just be questioning. I remember a couple of years back when I did a couple of dark videos, but realistic ones, and then people were wondering what's wrong, what's happened, have you been kidnapped, have you been silenced, what the hell's going on? Right, all kinds of questioning. But that's just because there's more eyes, more attention now, people watching. It happens. So because most people don't watch my ASMR videos because it's just not for them or it doesn't interest them, then there's not much attention, there's less room for consequences. But if you've got a channel which is more about that and other creative forms, and that's how you've built your channel from the ground, it's going to attract more people. And the more people that come, the higher the chances that there'll be at least one or two bad apples or bad eggs that come along the way. But once again, you got to ask yourself the patterns of, is there a pattern and a trend to it? When did it truly start? Have there been false reports in the past, or is it just more so recent? If it's recent, do you remember encountering anyone negatively in real life or online in the comment section? Was there any questionable comments by anyone that suggested a form of negativity to come or foreshadowing bad events that may follow? That's what it's about first. Could a troll or trolls be people that know you or you know them, or is it just complete strangers? And if it's complete strangers, it might be because they've got, and it's not to be too negative or make one feel uncomfortable, but it could be they might have an obsession, or more so an obsession with destroying someone or someone's channel after spending quite a bit of time in creating and setting it up. And, you know, what tends to happen is people will always say, forget about the negativity, the hate, just move on, keep on pushing forwards. It's okay for positive people to say all that shit, but at the end of the day, when you're in the position that Gnarly is in, you could continue on, but is it going to get reported again and again and again? What is the point of doing that? What is the point in putting in time and effort and more to then find out that the video's taken down the moment you've uploaded it? What good does that do? It doesn't do much good for the audience. It doesn't do much good for yourself. You're wasting time. You're wasting energy. You want to be efficient, but at the same time, what you're doing that you normally enjoy, you don't want that enjoyment to be lost. So what do? You just stop and not bother again? Shouldn't be like that. And even if Gnarly can upload alternative videos beside ASMR because they've got a variety of different creative stuff, you shouldn't be forced to have to walk away from something like that. YouTube should be competent enough to, know who you are, especially when you're more established. This is where it kind of crosses over onto what you can do or what you should do or what you could do, right? So just bear with me. When you become a more established creator, and you may join the partner program and all of that, if you do join the partner program, you will get perks, but more importantly, you'll get access to tools where you can actually reach out to YouTube directly. And there's different ways to do that. I think it could apply. I don't know if it quite applies if you're a partner program or not, but like on Twitter, literally on Twitter, if you tag them, you've got Team YouTube. Now, I'll be honest with you, Team YouTube are as competent as a sack of potatoes. Not much is done. Oh yeah, by the way, Warlike Rav, we'll get back to you in a few days' time. Oh yeah, there's still an update. We'll get back to you. It goes nowhere. But sometimes it could work out. It's very hit and miss. The more effective thing to do, if you want it on the spot in the moment, would be the YouTube or Google support chat. And I think you can do that on your icon. Click there, top right, help or support. Click on that, describe your issue, go through the process. And then if you select a more niche or deeper problem, it will then say, here are the tools. You can reach out to the community, which is pointless. You can send an email, which is one way of doing it. You can call them or you can text them. So there's a variety of communication. If you don't feel comfortable or you don't like talking to people on a phone, or just in general, you don't feel comfortable, you prefer to explain yourself through words and typing rather than speaking, YouTube provides that. So that's at least one positive. Depending who you are and your comfort level, you got alternative ways, as in reaching out to YouTube there, and it can be more direct. The most direct way would be either to call them or to do a live chat. A live chat is like a text message, like when you're on social media, a text box, and they'll chat to you, an agent applied to you. Take in mind, it can be hit and miss at times as well. Now, I don't know if Gnarly has already tried all this or she's not able to because of the URL link and the video being deleted, but it's just to take it in mind for the future, and I'm basing it off from my experience as well. From the YouTube live chat, it's a lot better now than what it was in the past. In the past, I think it was like Google support, but more now, it appears to be more specialized with people you know, communicate with. Now, it's still hit and miss because there are some incompetent helpers out there that drag it out and say, oh, well, we can't really do much, or we don't want to get involved too much. That happens, but there are moments where you do get connected with a competent person that understands you and answers things clearly. It was worse in the past because it looked like you were communicating with a bot and you had to say the same old script over and over again. You could say, hi, this is my problem, massive paragraph, and then they'll respond back with, can you explain your issue? When did this happen? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? You've already explained it, but because it's a bot, it's like automated. So you got to go through the long script and process. It's hell. That's how it was then. It's not quite like that now. It's got a bit better. It seems like you're actually talking or typing to a real human, which makes a change. I said it might be hit and miss, but it seems improved now. And when I've reached out to them regarding an issue, they've been mainly cooperative. The only times when they're not cooperative is when it comes to a copyright infringement or a third-party one, because they don't want to get their hands dirty. But in terms of Gnarly's situation with a video that's been falsely reported or something, to link on with that, I've been in a situation where 20 to 25 of my videos successively back to back in a matter of a few days were falsely reported for privacy violation guidelines. I did absolutely nothing wrong. My videos weren't taken down because YouTube reviewed and said that I did nothing wrong, but I did not receive an update and I didn't know what was going to happen next. So I used a live chat on YouTube, I said what the problem was, and then they themselves actually did a review of my channel internally, and they reported back within 5-10 minutes and said, you've done nothing wrong. Those reports were false. We checked. It didn't include certain details because they were false. So, not that it quite applies to or links with Gnarly, but when I had the videos falsely reported, it didn't give a reason as to why they were reported or what broke the guidelines. So that was interesting. So that meant it was a false report. So if Gnarly is saying that the TOS, the details regarding that, the small print wasn't exactly explained, well, that must be a false report then. Maybe not. I don't have too much experience there. But still, in terms of the feedback and communication, it was a lot quicker via the live chat. That seems to be top of the list in my opinion. Second of the list as for who you could reach out to would be via email. It gives you time to leave a long paragraph, include URL links, photos, proof, before and after, build your case, or do as much as you can. And then they'll respond back. But there is a bit of a delay at times. They don't respond back immediately. And then at the bottom, I would say probably Team YouTube externally via Twitter. So there's means to reach out to YouTube. Then you've got the obvious, as in request a human review where it's out of your hands and then a person will review it themselves. Now, if you've got a troll or trolls that have falsely reported your video or videos because they've got an agenda against you, maybe that human reviewer had the same mindset. Now, you could say that's quite worrying if there's someone in an authoritative position like that who has the power to accept a video or not. And if they're in a mood or they think a certain way and they go against you, that could be pretty problematic. So I've kind of listed what can be done. There is a possibility, I don't even know how successful it would be, but I could possibly reach out to YouTube myself. Not that it's going to make much of a difference, but just to see what they would say, to put it in perspective. Yeah, you could say it's harder because the videos aren't there anymore, but you did say in that other comment you got backup videos, so maybe there's a way around it. If you're able to continue uploading, that's good, but if you feel in a position where you just can't and you're halted, that's obviously a problem there. If you already had pre-recorded videos, So you didn't have to record one and put effort in, but you had a pre-recorded video. Maybe try uploading that and see how that goes, and keep it all normal as you would. And then just monitor what happens. You shouldn't have to be in this situation. You shouldn't have to test or try things with trial and error and have your fingers crossed that it works out. But furthermore, YouTube should be doing a lot more, because it's like with the thumbnails. It sounds a bit weird, but to try and recreate it, the thumbnails of their videos, I'm not wearing a dress, nor do I ever wear one. But if one was, and the style of it, you know, like t-shirts, it could be like, is that a crew shape? Then you get a V neck, you know, is that acceptable? Is that acceptable? Is this acceptable? Is that acceptable? How low can you go? And that's not messing about that. So the style goes from there, down, line, and then up. What's the big deal? No issues there. Nothing inappropriate, nothing on show. And yet, someone out there or some people believe that maybe there is, or it isn't, but they feel that's the only case that they've got. Desperately trying to report the video for that particular reason. But as Gnarly said, with the odd other video, it was up to her. I mean, once again, there are other channels or other people on other platforms, and their attire is obviously very questionable, yet they seem to get away with it. Why is that? Could well be a popularity contest in which if you've got a person, completely different example, but if you've got a person that may act or appear very, very, very inappropriate, and or online or in real life, but the content is posted online and people see it, but it gathers an audience, and that audience have a level of favoritism and biasness in liking and bowing down and, you know, all of that's very submissive towards them. They're not going to report the video. But if you're not as well known, if you're not as popular, whether you're doing inappropriate things or not, you kind of like in shark infested waters. Sometimes, yes, the bigger channel you are, the higher the heat level and the more drama that can come your way. But then equally, to put into perspective, with a smaller channel that may not receive as much drama or conflict, when it comes to handling it, when it comes to YouTube and their treatment towards the creator, a smaller channel going through drama or attacks or resistance or harassment or false reports are more likely to be squashed and not supported the same way by YouTube as how YouTube would be towards a bigger creator that's more well known and with the audience as well. Unfortunately, like when it comes to the audience, they can only do so much. Like if you were being attacked by another channel and a video was doing bad stuff towards you, you could report that video, the audience could report that video, and it could be a success. Some say it's a coordinated attack, but it's not. If you genuinely believe that a video breaks guidelines and it might impact you, then you should be able to report it. And if the audience feels the same way, they should be able to as well. And obviously in higher volume and numbers, there's more likely chance that a particular video could be taken down. And in your situation, you've had 1 or 2 videos reported by one person, by the same individual, or many. It's a bit of an unusual case. You know, you're not exactly a small channel. You're somewhat established. You got an audience, you got a following, but do you also have a following of some resistance out there and some darkness with someone or some people out there that have it in for you, so they're trying to stop you? If it was just negative comments, as bad as it can be and it can harm people, you got the option to block them, block accounts. But when it comes to reported videos, you can't do anything about it. I mean, if you're following guidelines in the first place, what else can you do? How much better can you be? Now, when it comes to TikTok, I don't really like that place. I re-upload videos on there to spread the awareness, as in on my YouTube channel. See if it helps with the cases and stuff. And the moment at times when I upload a TikTok video, it's instantly censored by TikTok themselves. I know it's different compared to what Gnarly's going through, but I just mean it's instant. And say that my videos are breaking guidelines for misinformation. Really? When what I'm looking at is an official police document or court documents and other stuff and news articles and more things and straight from the horse's mouth. It's done for misinformation or harmful, damaging stuff. What? Make the appeal, and I think 10 times out of 10 it's approved of. But it's just that process of being stopped, being halted. Then you question yourself. What do you do? Should I move on? Should I upload another video? Will it have a negative impact on my previous video? Should I wait and see how things go? It does slow you down, and it's annoying, especially if you've got momentum. It's like with my YouTube Shorts videos. If I upload some mystery short clips that do nothing wrong, they're instantly limited because it breaks some kind of, I don't know, like, well, it's not quite breaking guidelines, but it's not suitable for the audience. That's why it's limited. What? Because if you look at my shorts, there's nothing wrong with them. So I make an appeal and it's accepted. So it's not always been like that, because there's been times in the past where it's not been through a report, it's just been through the automated system or something, and it said that I've rated my videos wrong. So I've requested a human review, and then they said I did bad in it, but they did not give an explanation. So it's kind of hopeless, and there's nothing I could do about it, and I couldn't reappeal, I couldn't really do anything. Did it lead to a strike? No. I think strikes are normally just copyright only. But still, there was a human reviewer that had an agenda against me, which is piss poor and annoying. Maybe they were too sensitive. Maybe they picked up on something that wasn't actually there. But still, they ruined my channel for 5 months straight because of 2 correctly rated videos, which they deemed as incorrectly rated within a 90-day period. 2 false mistakes in 90 days, and I get punished for 5 months straight. So whilst Gnarly hasn't experienced what I've experienced, just a general feeling of you want to continue on, you want to upload videos because you want to, and other reasons as well, but you also feel like, is it worth it, because more bad things may happen. And as well, when it comes to appealing videos, YouTube can be very strict at times. If you falsely make an appeal or you get it wrong, and if you do it too often, they'll terminate your channel. What? Now, when I've done the YouTube live chat and I've said, right, can this be a privacy violation? Can this be reported? What happens if I do it wrong? What happens if I do it right, but they say I've done it wrong? Will my channel be terminated? And I kept being reassured by the people that it's all okay, you don't need to worry. Will it always be like that? Who knows? But there seemed to be a level of confidence there when it came to me reaching out to them. So maybe the live chat is the way to go to take it in perspective. It's not 100% guaranteed to work, but it's one way to go. It seems to be that YouTube don't directly have an issue with you, but someone or some strangers' viewers do. And then for some reason, YouTube will side more with the strangers than an established YouTube channel. It shouldn't be like that. And normally, as said, when it comes to reporting videos, it takes a hell of a lot of reports on someone's channel in order for action to be taken by YouTube. Unless it's a privacy violation or a copyright infringement, legal reasons, they'll take action a lot quicker. So it is a weird situation. If there is anyone else experiencing this, whether it be in the ASMR community or further afar, you can also leave a comment down below. And in the meantime, whilst this BS is going on, if anyone's interested in her channel, I'll provide a link down below in the pinned comment section. Have we reached a head or conclusion? I can only do so much because I'm not fully experienced with ASMR and, you know, darkness in that community, because I don't face those consequences or negativity because I'm not big, I'm not popular when it comes to ASMR. So I'm not going to understand all the issues that come with it. All I can say is there's been attempts to silence me in the past by other people out there, but the videos were never taken down because YouTube saw that there were false reports. So in a situation like this where YouTube takes these false reports as the truth, That is a bit worrying, but you still had the opportunity to make an appeal, which is something. But the fact that the human review didn't show any understanding, that's problematic. Once again, it all comes down to how many times has this happened? Is it a small blip in the road? Has it happened in the past? Is it long term? Are there any patterns along the way? Any negativity, any bad humans you have come across, which could link to this? I mean, not to be too negative, but let's just say Gnarly ASMR, the person behind that channel, was a male. Would they be in the same situation as they are right now? Right? I guess it comes down to the viewer or the viewers, the troll or trolls, their mindset, their outlook, and what they think. Because it's just, it doesn't always apply, but depending who you are, you can become a target. You're not asking for it, but people just go out of their way to attack you. You know, it's like if you're short, you're not that muscular, and you're outside, you could get picked on in a certain environment. If you're 6'6", 300 pounds, and you got a lot of muscle showing, people are less likely to mess with you. If you got cauliflower ears, people may think, oh, this person's been in a few fights, let's avoid him or her, right? Shouldn't be that way, but it is. If you're a male and it's dark and it's nighttime and you're walking about, going on a walk, not much may happen to you. But if you're of the opposite gender and there is a darkness out there of the opposite gender, they may think, oh, vulnerable target. It's messed up, but it happens. You take the equivalent of that as in online. For example, gaming, such as in the past. You might get gamers that may hide behind a fake username or profile picture. It could be a female gamer, but they don't want to make themselves present or known online because it's more dominated by males, or was at some point. So if you get into a public voice chat or comms and you communicate, you could get a load of abuse and verbal resistance and stuff like that. Has it got any better since? I don't know, because most of the time when I'm playing games, you don't know who's who, and they don't always talk. But I'd probably say there's more visible female gamers now than there may have been in the past, and that might be because of the rise of professional gaming, Twitch, TikTok, live streaming and all that. But I'll be honest with you, regardless of gender, gamers are cancer. Such tryhards. Take all the fun out of it for the other people that just want to relax and play. That's just being honest there. So like, if you're on YouTube and you're a bit of a smaller channel, and you don't have as much of a bigger audience, and you may be a female, you could be targeted more, especially the resistance could be from a male, or it could be females being a bit like catfight, bitchy behavior. Who knows? I mean, there's people I've come across with time that have had obsessions with me in negative ways, and most of the time, if not all of the time, the negativity was from males. Is it because they had a gay obsession with me? No, they just didn't like my coverage or how I did things. There was one person, not that this is going to help Gnarly, but just to put in perspective, there was one time where a person made false claims about me, videos, slanderous claims, threatening behavior, wanting to fight me and more. And then at the end of it, they said they did that because they wanted to be my friend and I rejected them. I never saw them ask. I never rejected, nothing like that. But still very childish behavior. And to be honest, it came about again in the future, and again and again and again. The last thing I experienced was 29 AI deep fake videos of me, attacking me, insulting me. Pathetic, desperate, but annoying. So I've been targeted many times now, but in a different category, but in other ways. But to put it in perspective, as bad as what I've experienced, it's not exactly stopped me from creating, because it's external, it's elsewhere. As for Gnarly, it kind of stops you in your tracks because you've uploaded a video, it's been taken down or it's been paused, whatever you want to call it. You try again, same result. You try again, that's messed up. So Either if you've got a pre-recorded video, you try it again, or just for now, you try upload a different video, something else that you like and are interested in, and just to see what happens. Because if you upload another type of video, which may not be ASMR, which may not be clothing, which may not show your face or your body, not that you have to restrict yourself or feel like you have to, but if you just did like a different type of video or of the same theme what you normally do, but aside from the ASMR stuff, from the personal things, if you was to get reported again for silly reasons, then clearly it's a way to measure that there is clearly a person or group that have an agenda against you. Now, can that be fixed? Well, I don't know at this moment in time, but it's just a way of trying to understand. Is it like a random occurrence, this, or is it targeted? And how long for? You know, it's okay once again with people out there saying, you know, just forget about it. Don't be bothered by it. Just keep on going. Well, one, if your videos keep getting struck, taken, that's not fun and it's not worth it, right? It's obvious. But then the second reason would be keep going on, but the dark force that's present, will they give up? Will they get bored? It's kind of like bullying when they say, you know, just put up with it, keep on going. The others will get bored of it eventually. Sometimes yes, and other times no. Other times it may actually encourage the bullies to push harder to try and get a reaction out of you. So is that another measuring tool? That whilst Gnarly has done a community post and explained her situation, is anyone in the background doing it on purpose in order to get a reaction out of Gnarly? I wonder. Hopefully I'm saying the username correctly after all this, because if I wasn't, that would be a bit awkward. But you've got to try and measure the reactions from people. First, measure the past and the present. Do you detect anything? Do you know of anyone in any way that could be negative, to get to the bottom of it? And if it's random, the next video or the next video after that, if it's of a different theme as well, shouldn't be reported. But if it is reported, and for silly reasons, then it must be a particular person or group that have an agenda, and then go from there. And then in the meantime, you could try the YouTube live chat. I could reach out to YouTube as well, just to understand what's going on, possibly. I said, I don't know if this video will do much good, but, you know, unless it might bring in other people that have similar issues of some sort. Once again, you know, I've not had direct issues, but I've had separate standalone ones elsewhere. I can imagine if, you know, if my channel was grown from ASMR, that those ASMR videos that I did, someone could have had an issue with it. I think the other thing what you could do, Gnarly, is when you go into the YouTube studio mode, check your analytics, check the country, the geography, the average view duration, and more importantly, the age range and gender. What's the average for your typical type of videos, or the ones that have been reported, falsely reported, or if you don't have them on screen or they're not available, the stats, look at a similar video that you've done or a more successful one. Because look, you've got over 100,000 views on one of your older videos, and then 90,000 and then 30,000. That's obviously very good statistically. Did you have any issues there when there was more eyes on you? If there was more eyes on you there, or if it's accumulative over time, passively growing that video part of the algorithm and then some others, and they've not had any issues, luckily, but yet a recent one, which may not be as high in views because it's brand new, and yet that does get in trouble, it seems more likely it's a current person that has a current issue with you or a group. It's just about trying to break it down bit by bit, in a way, to put it into perspective. But what I'd say is, whether you look at your most successful video or you look at your recent previous videos, which were okay, but of the similar theme and topic as your reported ones, and check the analytics for the average percentage of gender who view your video, and then more so the age range. because it's quite important when it comes to the age range. That could tell a story. I mean, once again, it's not to make things uncomfortable, but let's say the age range was 40, 50, 65 plus, and they are watching a creator, appearance-wise, appropriately speaking, they look good, and they're of a younger age, appropriate age in this example, but you got a much older audience watching. Are they watching for the content, the creativity, or they're watching for other reasons? You could get fashion videos out there of varying ages of people trying on clothes and just being creative and wanting to share that inspiration with others. And that sounds all good and normal and fine. But then if you get like a much older audience, at times, what are they watching for? A video on YouTube may be very popular. Is it popular for the content itself or popular for the person that stars in it? It does get very dark and it gets a bit messed up, but hopefully it makes sense. What I'm trying to get at is, if you had creepy people, put it that way, of certain target demographic, oh God, it sounds so bad this, but you got a certain type of people who may be a bit creepy, they're probably not likely to report the video because they like what they see. And I know that sounds bad, but those type of people aren't going to be reporting it because they want the video, they want more. If you've got some childish individual or petty person with an undeveloped mindset, impetuous, egocentric, hasn't gone through the formal stages, the operational stages, the concrete stages, development as a child and onwards, they could be of a younger age as part of the spectrum, so they don't see things the same way. They could act out and they might mess about, prank, play around. I mean, to put it in perspective, when I've done my Kenny Veach videos, mystery related, you'd be a little bit familiar with now, there's been countless stories over time of either wannabe professionals or people with hot topics, breaking news. I've been out there, I've seen the demon, I've seen the monster, I've seen Kenny, I've seen the cave, and some word it better than others. But at the end of the day, it's a load of rubbish because it's said by younger people. How do I know? Well, you look at the profile picture, it could be of Roblox, it could be a Fortnite, and you could say that's a bit of a generalization, but when it comes to my analyzing, it takes 0.5 seconds, and I've got an accuracy rating of 99.9%, and that's been proven over time. So I do base it off experience. But you look at some of these channels, you look at some of the content, you think, of a younger age range, you can understand they've got a wider imagination. They might be doing it because they're playing about, they're pranking, or they want attention, and so on and so on. So you just ignore it. It's not the end of the world. But they lack that reasoning ability. Once they get older, they might realize, oh, what an idiot I was. I know what to think and what to do now. So to revert it back to your situation, you look at the studio mode, you look at the analytics, what's the average audience, what are they like? And I don't mean the people, the positive people behind your channel that support you and all that. I'm talking about the abnormalities, anything that stands out, anything that's unusual, any areas, grey areas where you could pick out and say, maybe it's that type of person, maybe it's that section, which could be the problem, who don't quite see eye to eye with my videos or have an agenda against me. Does that make sense? Hopefully I've not made the situation worse with how I word things, but I need to be somewhat realistic when going about this. And yeah, that's all I can say. I mean, different situation, but when I look at my statistics, people of a slightly older age and onwards, and when I say old, it doesn't have to be like old and old, but as the ages move up in the brackets, the average watch time is higher. But if there's like 18-year-olds or a bit below, the average watch time is going to be a lot lower because the retention span is a lot smaller. And if you get more degenerates nowadays, and because you got the rise of TikTok and short clips, people are programmed for that. So when they see longer format content, they come at me with abuse and attacks and complain and whinge and whine. Unnecessary, but it's like they're pre-programmed to think a certain way. So if you've got certain pre-programmed individuals that think a certain way or have a certain outlook, if they come to you or find your video, are they gonna act out in like nothing personal directly, but they've just got an agenda? Does that make sense? And to refer back to the older age bracket, people that are interested in certain stuff, higher attention rate, more understanding, more patient, more positive. Not always. You still get the abnormalities. You still get the people of a much older age and experience that act out at times. I've seen it myself in the community on previous videos, but it's just about looking for patterns. You look for the patterns, see what you can identify, see what you can break down and work out, and then take the next course of action. Hopefully this helps in some way. If you want to provide updates, you can always leave a comment on one of my videos wherever. It's not going to have any negative impact. If you got things to say or you want to address something, you can, and then see where things are at there, and then see what's the next course of action. Obviously, you shouldn't feel like you have to freeze yourself in the moment. If you want to upload, you should be able to, but just try other types of videos, what you would normally do, so you're not completely diverting away, because indirectly there could be someone or some people out there that are forcing you to go in a different direction or route in hopes of trying to destroy, they want to destroy your channel. It could be that, some dark satisfaction from that. But still, obviously these reports, I mean, did you get an email about it before the video was restricted or taken down of some sort? What was the time span of it? Was it really instant, fast, or was it over time? Be interesting to know. And, you know, furthermore, have you as a creator, have you ever had any conflict or disagreements with any other YouTube channels out there that may have an audience? Because if you did, not saying that you did, but if you did, a channel out there could, I don't know, do a coordinated strike or attack on you. And last but not least, when you said you got one strike, obviously the more strikes you get, worse the outcome. I think if you get 2 strikes, you might not be able to upload any videos or something. 3 strikes within a month, channel termination. Doesn't sound too good. It shouldn't be like that. YouTube are very strict, to be fair. YouTube makes more mistakes than some creators do, yet YouTube's more punishing on the creators than the creators are on YouTube. It's not quite fair there. Have I ever been in a situation like that? Once, but it was to do with football clips, and I didn't contest it. It is what it is. Fair enough. I don't do it now. But I said to YouTube at the time, right, so I'm in this situation, not great. Why can I upload videos? I shouldn't be able to. I should be restricted. My community post should be restricted. Yet YouTube said, nope, it's all okay. Just don't do it again. And if you've got any other videos in between, just delete them. So YouTube were actually helpful, nice, and lenient towards me on that one occasion. Why? Why am I deserving of that? Why isn't Gnarly ASMR deserving of that? That's what's weird. The way YouTube cooperated in that moment. How come if Gnarly ASMR gets 1 strike, she can't do community post or certain stuff restricted, yet if I was in that situation, I can do this and do that? Is it like one rule for one rule for another? Seems a bit imbalanced. Is it the time and place, wrong time with YouTube, or with the person working on your case? If you're assigned to the case with an agent that's nice or understanding, they'll help you. If you're dealing with someone who's moody, they might treat you worse. Seems like luck of the draw once again, because you can't control everything, all the factors. You can't control who you come across and what you may encounter, whether that be in real life or face to face. Just got to hope for the best. Should be more to it then. Anyway, I just wanted to try and fill out everything possible. Apologies, this video has actually gone on much longer than I anticipated, but I guess it's just once you go with the flow. Understandably, maybe not everyone will be able to sit and watch this whole video because it might be a bit too long, but all I can say is this is natural. Everything coming out is natural with the time and the flow to it. So leave it there for now, see what happens next, but thanks for watching and hopefully it helps. Goodbye for now.